Alright, unavailable switcher.
Got so many people still have fight Rasta. Tell me how come? Don't I east west them never chat in him and both them chat sister. Tell me how come? People are support a street. No people love the prime minister. Tell me how come? Those in power don't seem to care. It's 'cause life is so unfair. In this sweet paradise, this is what we swear. Out of many one people, can you see that anywhere? Everyone treated equal, and this is why so many die, leaving so many to cry. Tell me how come there's so much guns in the streets and none of them gun they never make ya. Tell me how come AIDS is spreading wide, taking over the sweet paradise of Jamaica. Tell me.
What's going on? What's going on, y'all? Man, that's my song and that's my thing. It got Terrence, let me make sure I ain't on here twice. Just to make sure, I'm finna go out and come right back in. Got that echo.
Hey Eric, you mind grabbing that move, man? Cause I'm on the Zoom, man.
Hello? Yeah, I sound better now. Yeah, I think I had messed around. I was in twice. Well, anyway, bro, how you been, man?
I've been great, brother. I've been great.
All right. So you got something going on this month. I'm gonna give everybody a little quick update about what's going on with me. I'm up here in Orlando and I'm getting ready to put on a No More Tears concert. I will have an update for y'all on that next Thursday because this Friday I'm taking a group of kids up to South Carolina for an AAU basketball tournament. So when I get back from there, I'm going to be getting with. I met some good people down here, and then we're going to be putting together that concert. So next week I'll have all that information up and ready for y'all. So anyway, D, I'm just happy you on here, and I wanted you to have your show. You know, I talk about stuff every Thursday, so we're just gonna let you go ahead and talk about what's going on with you about the stop the violence for the youth up in Detroit. That's march that you got going on.
Okay, well, my name is Dion Rigonneal. Rich Jones, I appreciate you and the brother Snow for allowing me to come onto your platform, man. It's an honor to be here. And it's a lot of violence going on in our communities, and it's just not in Detroit, you know what I'm saying? But we making a mark in our city to be able to bring some awareness to some of the violence that our youth are going through. You know what I'm saying? They're killing each other, and they're killing each other over simple stuff, nonsense, And when you got a community that's with a bunch of children or a bunch of, young men that got people on the block that's scared to come out the house, you got elderly people that don't want to come out the house because they don't want to be affected by some of the gun violence. And then you got some of these young men, shooting and killing innocent people. Children is getting children is getting killed. 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, 10-year-old children are getting killed by the nonsense that our youth are doing. So, I linked up with a sister, and she's having a march, Stop the Violent march. In an incident, her nephews was murdered. 2 of her nephews was murdered within the same week. One murder was because of over something so simple as eating leftovers. The guy got mad because his nieces and nephews was eating the leftovers that he provided for them, not for them to eat, but it was his food, but it was leftover food. So when his so-called brother-in-law confronted them about that, he got mad and killed the guy. Point blank, shot his blowed his brains out. And the other incident was a 16-year-old boy. He shouldn't have been doing what he was doing, but in the hood, the way in the ghetto, how they got all these crack houses and these houses where they sell drugs at. The 16-year-old was, selling drugs, which he shouldn't have been doing in the first place. But a customer came to buy some drugs from him and didn't have all the money that for the drugs that he was supposed to buy. So the 16-year-old didn't serve the man, and the man wound up killing him. And we just gotta be more aware of what's going on in our communities to stop this violence, man. So we put together a march, a justice march, as well as the Cease the Fire march on our youth, man. We got to save our youth, because if we don't save them, nobody else will. And for the people that might think that, we can't save them, then they might need to reevaluate themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because I heard you say one day, Rich, we can't be scared of our youth, man. We can't be scared to tell our youth to take the garbage out. We can't be scared to tell our youth to, to pick up after themselves. You know what I'm saying? We can't be scared of our youth. You know what I'm saying? Because the older we get, they supposed to respect us. So even though they are youth, we still got to install in them that respect. Our youth have lost all respect for adults. They don't care no more. You know what I'm saying? And some of our people that's like myself, I'm tired of it, man, to be honest with you, man. And I'm not scared to confront our youth and let them know that what they're doing is uncalled for and unnecessary. And when you put that to them in a way that they can understand it, they weren't born out here disrespecting each other. When they was growing up, I'm quite sure their mothers and their fathers and their grandmothers taught them some kind of respect towards somebody, so that's the whole purpose of this march, man. And we're going to come out in numbers. It's going to be a couple of other organizations that's going to be there. And we're just going to try to attract the attention of the community to come out and be a part of stopping this violence. We can't let this continue to happen. If we continue to let it happen, it's going to get worse.
Tell the people what day y'all doing that on.
It's going to be on March the 18th at a recreational center that's called Hellman's Recreational Center on the east side of Detroit. And it's only for a couple of hours. I think it's from 2 to 4. They're not going to give us that much time to do what we got to do on the inside. We're going to be speaking and everything. But what I foresee after we come out the building and do that march, that's going to let the community know that it's something that there's people that care. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that's all it takes for the youth to just know that somebody care, man. They know they do, and even to some of these grown men out here, man. That's another thing I want to touch on, man. The people that's in their 40s and in their 30s, man, influencing these kids, man. That ain't the right way to be. When when we was growing up, we was influenced by the pimps and the players out there. You know what I'm saying? We wanted that same Cadillac. We wanted that same to dress the same way. But we got to change the narrative, because it's not that no more, man. It's went beyond that. They not wearing no. When I was growing up, the thing was the gaiters and the nice suits and everything. These youth out here, they wearing $30,000 gold chains around their neck. You know what I'm saying? So how can you compare? How can you get to that when you in a neighborhood where that you can't afford that? So the youth is watching that. Our children always watch what we do. It used to be a saying, man, say what I do, not what's that saying, Richard? Say, do what I say, not as I do.
Do what I say, not what I do.
Yeah, we got to get back. We really got to get back to saying that, but we got to stop doing the things that we are planning for them to do, what they seeing us do. Because if we saying don't do what I'm doing, and I heard that before when I was young. You don't want to grow up like me. You know what I'm saying? You want to be better than me, but I'm out here with a $30,000 chain around my neck. You know what I'm saying? I'm driving a $85,000 car, but I'm telling you, you don't want to be like me. You know what I'm saying? And the way I got it. So we just got to change the narrative, and that's what we're going to do down here in the city, man. And hopefully, it'll spread to other communities throughout like the Flint, the Saginaw, because the same problem that we got down here in Detroit is the same problems that's going on in Flint and Saginaw, Muskegon. You name a city in Michigan that got a hood is going on there. You know what I'm saying? And it's people in those hoods that can change the narrative, and that's what we're gonna do. We're not gonna try to do it. We're gonna do it.
Dion, let me ask you a question, cause I want to get with you, and I want to get a bus or two. Maybe I at least want to get one bus, and I want Detroit and Flint to be on that bus, and I want to head up to Lansing to the Capitol and get on their stairs and talk about what's going on with these youth. So with that bus, would it have to come to Flint and then Detroit, or would it go to Detroit and then Flint?
If we go to the capital,
the end result is going to be the capital or Lansing. Yeah.
We probably have to leave. We could probably meet. We could probably meet somewhere in the middle.
Bus. It's going to be the same bus. So we're going to have a bus. It would probably have to come. And then go get the other group.
Right. It would probably have to come. It would probably have to come back to Detroit and then to Flint and then to Lansing.
Okay.
I had to look at the map to see. But when you go to Lansing,
we're gonna get that together.
Yeah, when you go to Lansing, I noticed, man, sometimes you just gotta show up. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to get no appointment to be going to see nobody when you go down there, because if they know you coming, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna have everything ready for you. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna have everything prepared for you that they want to do when you get there. But if you come unannounced, they ain't got no choice but to be, you're going to catch them in their raw state. You know what I'm saying? You're going to catch them in their raw state. You know what I'm saying? And that's how, when they have all these rallies and stuff that you go down to Lansing and they prepare you to go down there. You just got to pop up. Just pop up on them. You ain't doing nothing wrong by popping up, because that's our right to pop up. You know what I'm saying? As long as we popping up and as long as we demonstrating in a civil way, you know what I'm saying? We got the right to protest. We got the right to do what we got to do, and you don't need to be announced. That's what they did. That's what all them Europeans did when they stormed the Capitol. They didn't have no specific date that they was gonna go down there. They just came together amongst themselves and say, "Let's storm the Capitol," and that's what they did.
So that's what we gonna do.
And that's what we can do. And we can do the same thing they did, but we're not going down there trying to tear up. We ain't going down there threatening nobody. We ain't going, all we want is some assistance from our legislators to do what they say they was gonna do when they got into office in these communities, man. I mean, why is it that our communities be the last communities to be looked at, and they gotta be looking like a war zone before somebody come help us out?
Ain't no look is a war zone.
Yeah, they got all this technology, man. You can't go to certain communities in the suburbs, man, and expect and think that you're gonna come out there and do some damage to them places. They're not gonna let you out there. They're not gonna let it happen. They should have the same kind of ruling in our communities, man. And sometimes it takes just for the leaders in our communities, the city council, the mayor. You know what I'm saying? The police chief. You know what I'm saying? How do they feel about their city? I know here in Detroit, I don't even think our mayor live in he live in a mansion. He live in the mansion that they got here. You know what I'm saying? But he rarely step out and go to the communities. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the people on our city council go to, where they live at, but the districts that they govern, they rarely come out and put money back into that community. Just like they had it with you guys down there in Flint. I was watching like I was saying earlier, I was watching a podcast where the federal government granted Flint so much billions of dollars, and they took all that money and sent it to the state. And the state took that money and greased who they wanted to grease with it. You know what I'm saying? They didn't put none of that money towards some of those hospital bills that water messed up all them children down there that's still gonna be messed up for the rest of their life. You know what I'm saying? They didn't give no money to the resources that they needed to go to that, man. And that hurt my heart so bad, man, because if you ever seen a child that had lead poison, man, it's like it takes away their brain. They can't think as quick as they supposed to think. You know what I'm saying? And that shouldn't have happened in Flint with that water. And then the children drinking the water, taking baths in the water, and now you got children can't even think straight. You know what I'm saying? Now you got children's bone marrow is deteriorating. You know what I'm saying? And what's the government doing about that? What is the city of Flint or even to Lansing? What are they doing for those children, man?
Standing for our teenage violence, interaction, and bad decisions have spiked since our water crisis.
Yeah. I remember. Now listen to this. I remember the brother Snow coming onto his live one day, and he was showing how these cars was lined up from one end of the city to the next end of the city just to get water. You know what I'm saying? And the area where they was getting water was at, it didn't look like it was the hood. You know what I'm saying? They was giving that water to the people in the suburbs. You know what I'm saying? They didn't come to the inner city. When they come to the inner city, we had to come. I know, brother, we had to come down there and give y'all some water. We had to take donations up for y'all to give them communities water. You know what I'm saying? And that's crazy, man. It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that.
Shout out to y'all and Judge Mathis, because Judge Mathis was a water warrior to his fire.
Yes, sir.
I remember taking many trips going down there to the Judge Mathis Center, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And like real talk, we would load up a U-Haul and we could have took two or three U-Haul, and they still would have had some water after we left. Shout out to them. And that was all water donated and paid for by Judge. It's a combination, because it was rooms of water for the city of Flint.
And see, that shows that we help one another out. But when it's such a crisis such as that, you know what I'm saying? You know, they got funding for that. They got money for that, man. But they pick and choose who they want to get it, where they want to put that money to, man. And I'm just thinking, man, you know, it used to be back in the early 80s, man, and even into the early 90s, man. Flint was a nice place to go. You know, Flint was somewhere nice where you can go. My aunt stayed out in Flint. You know, we used to go to Flint on certain occasions, man, and I couldn't wait to get on 75 to come down there to exit on Martin Luther King Boulevard and go visit my aunt. You know what I'm saying? Because the area was nice. You know, before they closed all the plants down and sent them somewhere else, man, and then it started decaying. You know, so you know it's just, you know, we got to do better, but. You know, and when you offer to those poverty-stricken neighborhoods, man, what you expect for the young buck to be mischief in there? What you expect for them to do but run around and get these drugs and give them to the older people and get them strung out on drugs, and now they can't go to work.
And now they have raised. Now, I didn't mean to cut you off, bro, but I'm gonna just be honest. I'm glad to be in Orlando right now, because when I was in Flint, I knew young men that was selling crack to their mother and father.
And how betrayful was that, man? You know, and they chasing that money. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the money with them. You know, and you got to look at it, man. Our youth gonna get older one day. So how is it that you grow up selling crack to your own family member, destroying that, taking that generation away? You know what I'm saying? Just for to glorify yourself to have money. Just for yourself to glorify to have money, man. We just got to do better, man. And this march is going to really kick it off, because if I get the opportunity to get on some kind of network worldwide, you know, I'm calling some people out, man. I'm definitely going to call some people out. And the people that I'm going to call out, they know that they got that's their obligation. You know, it's obligations when you out here and people put you in a position to do some things. It's an obligation for you to take care of your business. You know what I'm saying? You just can't lead a week to flourish. I mean, not to flourish. You can't lead a week just to be, you know, you can't do that, man. It got to stop, man. And I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. Now, let me just make that clear. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it took for it to get to where it's at, it might take the same energy and it might take a little longer to get it back. But you know how you do a garden before you start planting your fruits and your vegetables and everything? You got to cultivate the land, man. You got to clear all that mess out of there, man. And that's what we doing.
Dion, do you know JoJo Underwood?
Yes, that the sister?
Yeah.
Yeah, I met her before. I met the sister on a couple of things.
You also know Representative Cynthia Johnson.
Yep, I'm familiar with her as well.
And Sherry Shegod, I think her name is.
Yep, Diego.
Sherry has a beautiful voice. I'm going to reach out to her. JoJo Underwood, I consider her my sister. Cynthia Johnson is my mentor. She's somebody that I follow, I watch, and I move like. And I'm going to communicate with all three of them. And then I got some artists, performing for great causes. We're going to try to come down there and do it.
I don't mean to cut you off, bro, but those three sisters that you just named, they love the city of Detroit. They love the city of Detroit, man. They have been over backwards for the city of Detroit. Let me just say that because I've watched them and I follow them as well, man. And those sisters right there, man, they, when you mention Detroit and you say, you want to know who a Detroiter is, it's sisters like that. That's a Detroiter. They true Detroiters. They still go to them neighborhoods and they still in the community that they grew up in, and they make sure that things is acting in the court, what's supposed to be happening.
So I'm going to get with them. We're going to get with you, and I'm going to try to get with some of my artists, which I'm not going to have no problem. And we're going to come down there. We're going to do a No More Tears concert in Detroit. So we got me.
Hey man, if y'all want to do that,
you got some kids with some talent with positive songs.
Yeah, I got a spot where we can have that at, man. I got a spot where we can be there, and if we do it in the summertime, it'd be lovely to do it outside, man. I got a spot for that.
Dion, we're gonna get together. We're gonna get together out there, man. I got so much going on up here in South. I gotta go to South Carolina this weekend, and then next weekend I gotta go to Atlanta, and then in between those days I'm training, I'm reaching out to kids, I'm talking to kids here in Orlando. So in between all of that, I'm going to begin with you, and we're going to have some stuff set up together.
Let's do it, bro. I
just appreciate you. We gonna do it. There ain't no try no more. You taught me.
That's right. I like that right there.
Flint Urban Youth, we down here working.
That's what's up, man. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And you know what, bro? It takes soldiers like yourself and myself, man, to get out here, man. A lot of people might sit back and talk about things that they're gonna do, you know what I'm saying? But when you put action to what you're doing, man, and you make it happen, and I just want to say this too, man. Everybody don't want the neighborhood to be brought back to life. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't want the neighborhood to be brought back to life. Everybody don't want us to reach these youth, man. They want, and I'm just saying it for this being, like you said, saying the truth for them, man. They want us to be dead or in prison, man. That's where they want us at. You know what I'm saying? Or just to be out here on drugs, period. You know what I'm saying? Not having no responsibility for humankind at all.
They need us. I remember I was talking to a young man in California. I ain't gonna lie. I was at the train station. And the police came down there, kind of harassed us. But that young man, I could see that he was a troubled young man. And I said, man, you don't like the police, do you? He said, no, I can't stand them and the po-po. And all of this, throwing, he had a little gang. So I said, let me tell you something, young man. Stay out of jail.
Yeah.
Stop going to jail. They need y'all to go to jail. If we stop going to jail, they ain't got no money. We stop filling up them prisons, they ain't got no money.
That's right.
If you don't like the po-po, stay out of jail, stop paying them.
Yeah, change your life around. How about doing that? How about changing your life around? How about just because you think you live in a good life, and actually you live in a miserable life. You know what I'm saying? You live in a miserable life. If you're not setting yourself up for generational wealth, if you ain't setting yourself up for that, You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna just be honest, man. I ain't always been the person who I am today. Yeah, I done sold dope before. Yeah, I done robbed people before. Yeah, I done did some things that I wasn't supposed to do in life before. But I came to my damn senses, man. I came to my senses when I got married and started having children, and because I don't want my children to experience things that I experienced in growing up, because they don't have to. And I'm not talking about just my birth children. I'm talking about these young children that's out here trying to do some of these children are trying to do right, but the influence, you know what I'm saying? They get talked about, man. Oh, you a punk. Or you ain't you. I don't know the words they use now to make children feel a certain kind of way. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't got to be a lame. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got. You can be. It's all right to be square. You know what I'm saying? It's all right to be that. It's all right to want to learn. It's all right to want to be somebody besides the dope man and the hustler. It's all right to be that. Something different. You know, and that's the message, man. That's what we got to keep pushing. I'm gonna keep pushing. And I also want to say
we gotta find some positive TV shows. I am a fan of these negative TV shows, but I also know that they're messing our minds up.
Yeah, and but when you get to that,
that's why I work so hard with this music.
Yeah,
because their music is just leading them to demise. It's a set up system for them to kill each other or end up in jail.
Yeah.
And we got all of these keep it real and street code. No, stop that way of living. Stop teaching that to kids that don't know nothing. These young kids walking around here know these rap songs with all these crazy lyrics in them. Teach your kids to learn some better music.
Yeah, man. And you know, sometimes you just gotta let them know, inform them, man. That stuff is all fiction, man. It ain't none of these rappers on here rapping all that killing stuff. I'm talking about some of these major rappers. Let's talk about some of these major rappers that's rapping all this money bag and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's promoting drinking syrup. You know what I'm saying? That's promoting taking pills. You know what I'm saying? You promoting that stuff, man. So what you think these kids are going to do? As soon as they get a chance to get a Percocet, they talk about these Percocets on the song. Let me get about 4 or 5 of them. And now here he is ODing off of them. You know what I'm saying? He don't even supposed to be involved in none of that.
All that. Glamorizing killing the future.
Yeah, man. And it got to stop. Because I guarantee you, like we said last time when we was on this platform, man, you know, some of these artists, man, assigned to some of these labels, they ain't teaching their children. They not promoting to their children to do that. You know what they doing? They send their children, they preparing their child to go to college. You know what I'm saying? They preparing their child for greatness. But they rap about, you know, and it's all design. It's all design, man. It's all design, bro. You can't fault some of these people for doing what they're doing because they're chasing after that money and they feel that money is power. But knowledge is power. Let's say that.
The money is demonic. Demonic.
I know you see it.
Devil wrote all up in there. Well, we're about to run out of time here, D-Man. I really appreciate it. Terrence, throw that up one more time. Let people know.
It's city demons in my city. Yes, indeed it is. Got the crabs in the buckets and the haters working every day. It's systematic shit. We gon' make it anyway.
Bedrock Diva.
Whatever it's doing to me, all I wanna do is breathe. Take 2 steps forward, gotta take 5 back. What's that? I'm tired of that. I hustles every day and I grinds it to the wall in hopes that one day in this life we gon' fall. They say the urban decay, we don't make it out. There's no escape. That's no mistake. Take it back, take it back, take it back. We gotta take it back. We gotta take our hood back. Take it back, take it back, take it back. We gotta take it back. We gotta take the city back. Paralyzed by falling dreams, we self-medicating. Bottled water solutions. The kids have no vision. They taking all the schools away, but they steady making feelings. But we gon' make it all the way. because we kicking in the building. Take it back, take it back, take it back. We gotta take it back, we gotta take the hood back. Take it back, take it back, take it back. We gotta take it back, we gotta take the city back. When you're under pressure, city demons can take your mind like no other. Hey, you gotta have control, even when it's hard, you're all on your own.
That's the truth. You gotta get out
Let's go. City demons,
like that.
all up in your city. Product of your environment. And the city about got the bedrock diva on this track, yeah. It's city demons in my city, yes indeed it is. Got the grass in the buckets and the haters working every day. It's systematic shit, we gon' make it anyway.
14.
Flint After Dark.
Copy that. All right.